Well, good morning, everybody. This is DearMamaSal on a very pleasant Tuesday morning. It's 5 degrees here in southern British Columbia, which would make it 41 in American. Yay. So we are destined to go up to double digits today. That's something we look forward to. So the sky, the clouds are breaking up and it's beautiful blue sky above. So I don't think it's going to be a heat wave, but it's going to be a really nice day. I know that yesterday I was talking about preparing myself for a difficult day, and it turned out that I did a great job because I kept really calm all day, regardless of what was going on, and believe you me, there was a lot going on. And so I found that my preparation for the day worked to my advantage. In other words, I wasn't expecting it to be a perfect day because I knew it wouldn't be. And the reason that it wouldn't be is because there was too much change going on. When an office goes through a lot of change all at one time, everybody will be walking on eggshells, or that group of people that love to rumor monger will be busy doing that. It's really interesting how that goes down in an office environment. Anyway, so the good news was I survived the day. The only thing was I got really cold, and so I had to actually go hunting down for a heater because the office that I'm in, is beautiful as it is, it's freezing. The word heat doesn't apply, and I was having to really top up the heat to get it to be livable in there. So how the previous person in there coped, I'm not quite sure. I'm pretty sure that in the summer it will probably be the opposite, way too hot. Right, a couple of requests from viewers today, which is always great. And the first one was actually permission rather than a request. I got a number of emails or notes coming backwards and forwards from Chris B. Now, Chris B is a young man who has his own channel, and he's been going through some pretty tough times up and down over the last little while. And he's got some really good friends who care about him a great deal. And the reason I know that is because I've received notes from them as well. And so the thing that Chris wanted me to let you know about was the fact that he had quite a serious aha moment. And I guess that you all know what I'm talking about, where you've heard the same thing over and over again, but then suddenly somebody says it and you go, so I got it. And you're wondering how come you could have missed it for so long, and how many other people had told you that in a different way, but you just didn't really get it. And I'm a great believer in life that your speed is the right speed. You'll get these things when you need them, as I will, because as you know, I'm not perfect at all. So what Chris got his aha moment about was letting go. Like so many of us, Chris needed to hold on to some previous hurt. Somebody had hurt him quite a while ago, perceived or otherwise, doesn't really matter. But he felt the pain of what had happened. Now, there are two ways of dealing with that, as you know. And one is that you can hold on to it and live a very bitter and angry life. Or you can go, it was what it was, and it is what it is, and I need to move on. And that was where Chris's aha moment was, because he suddenly got it, that he doesn't have to hold on to this resentment anymore, to this anger around what had happened to him. He can choose to let it go and move on. Somebody once said, Chris, just as a matter of interest, if you happen to listen to this one, somebody once told me that you've got to really think about it like climbing a ladder. And when you try climbing a ladder, you cannot go up until you release one foot at the bottom. Do you understand? Each time you want to go up one more rung, you've got to release a foot to go up a rung. And so I've always thought that that was a really great analogy. If you want to grow in your life, you're going to need to let go of some stuff, because it's not really helping you anymore. And that's what Chris got. So Chris, congratulations. I'm really delighted that one of the vlogs, or some of them recently, have helped you with that. That's exactly why we're here, is to try and give enough stories that they will sort of compound until, you know, people are going, wow, you know, I've got that. I've also, I always get the name wrong. Rats. I want to say it's KSKC, but it's something like that, who writes to me a lot, makes a lot of comments, and I really thank you, because you always have a great deal of honesty and integrity, I always feel, to your comments. But, you know, you were also saying that you love these comments when we're talking about things that people have got issues on, because that we all have these issues in different ways, if we are honest, in some degree. And I agree with you. That's why I said, that's why I wanted to do this in the first place, was because just living life is a major lesson, in my view. If you can understand that there is no perfect life, we all have to live life, and we all have the same problems. It's how you deal with them that makes for a happier life. It's not a life without problems, it's how do you deal with them. Okay, so then I got a request from Crystal Chai, I believe is the name. And Crystal asked me whether I would talk about the law of attraction. Now, for those of you who don't know, the law of attraction is a fundamental law, and I like to call it, it's a fundamental law of life. And what does it mean? It means that we look for, we will find, or as it said in the Bible, seek and you shall find. In other words, it's really strange how if we look around our lives with a troubled mind, we will only see trouble. If we look around the world with our depressed mind, we will only see more reason to be depressed. If we look at life through our joyful mind or grateful mind, we will see more and more reasons to be joyful and more reasons to be grateful. Now, in terms of the law of attraction, let me give you a prime example, which I'm certain a lot of you will relate to if you are old enough to actually own a car. I can remember my first new car, long time ago, people. It was in the early 70s. Yeah, some of you weren't born probably. Anyways, it was in the early 70s, and I bought myself a bright yellow Fiat. It was the cutest little thing. It was a bit like the marshmallow, actually, that I drove the other day, but it was different shape. And it was my first new car. And I decided I'd get yellow because it was so unusual. And, you know, I'd be able to spot it in the parking lot. Well, the most peculiar thing, that up until the time that I bought a yellow car, there were very few yellow cars on the road. Once I owned a yellow car, I was amazed how many yellow cars I saw. And why? My mind was now attuned to seeing yellow cars. It's the law of attraction. So because my mind is there, they'll be jumping out at me. They were almost jumping across the road going, hello, bounce, 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 here I am, a yellow car. And I was quite disappointed because the whole reason I bought the yellow car was because it was so rare. Not so, apparently. Now, you've all got your version of this. Maybe, I'm wearing a pink sweater today. You don't often see me wear a sweater. I was cold yesterday, remember? So, how many pink sweaters will I see today? You know what I mean? It's just like, it's amazing. Now then, how does that translate into our lives? Well, as I said, if you have goals in your life and you keep track of your goals, you will draw those results to you. Luckily, the Mercedes behind me had very good brakes. If you notice, when I have to brake suddenly, I'm not so much interested in the guy in front of me because I know I've got good brakes. I'm worried about the guy behind me hitting me, which happened to me once. Anyway, so let me try and give you another practical example, because I think the practical examples perhaps are easier to understand.